Hey, it's Liam from Phyx. Welcome to the upper body workout. Today's session is going to focus on engaging the muscles of the upper body so that we can straighten our spine, pull our shoulders back, and make sure that there's as little dysfunction as possible in the neck, shoulders, and upper back. This can also help people with lower back problems because when the upper back is rounded, the lower back tends to overcompensate as well. We're going to start with a few warm-up exercises that you can use to get the muscles around the spine and the shoulders ready. And then we're going to focus on some harder exercises near the end, which will help you to build strength in all areas of the upper body. The last part of the workout will focus on exercises for the elbow and hand. The first exercise we're going to do is the TYI. This is going to engage the muscles between the shoulder blades so that we can start to pull the shoulders back. To warm up the mid-back with the TYI, lie face down on a mat with the forehead down on the ground like this. You don't want the neck tilted up. So the forehead's down, the glutes are squeezed and the abs are engaged. Place the hands out to the side like this, 90 degrees away from the body, and then draw the shoulder blades back and up towards the ceiling. So you're squeezing the shoulder blades together, and that's lifting the arms rather than lifting the hands like this. So you're squeezing the shoulder blades back and together, almost down towards the back pockets as you come upwards. So we're gonna go for 5 more of these. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Then we're going to move up to a Y position. So the hands are about 45 degrees upwards now into a Y position, and you're going to lift the backs of the hands straight towards the ceiling. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Try to keep the glutes squeezed and the abs engaged. 3, 2, and 1. Last one is up into an I position. So straight up ahead. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So we'll take a little rest and then we'll do one more set. Again, what you're trying to emphasize is the musculature in between the shoulder blades. So you're really trying to pinch the shoulder blades together as if you had a pencil in between the shoulder blades and you're trying to grab it. And you're trying not to use the lower back by squeezing the glutes and then contracting the core, and that's going to prevent the lower back from taking over. So again, we'll do another set. The arms start out in this T position, squeezing the shoulder blades back and together. 3, 4, 5. You're trying not to rest the hands on the ground in between each set. 7, 8, 9, 10. Come up to a Y position. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Try to keep the head down so you're not tilting your head up like this. 9, 10. Finally, the I position. Shoulders might be burning here. If it's too painful in the shoulder, go back down to the T position and just work on that one. 4, 3, 2, 1. Now that we've engaged the muscles between the shoulder blades, we can start to warm up the rotator cuff even more thoroughly. You can take a band, a jumper, or a towel, it doesn't matter, anything to connect your hands together. Place it a little bit wider than shoulder width and just bring it up to head height and then back as far as you can. Keep the elbows slightly bent during this exercise. And if you have any shoulder pain or instability with this, just skip this exercise and wait till the next one. So we're gonna bring it up and over the head and down to the back. We're gonna do this about 20 times. So this is number 5. Important things that you want to keep in mind with this exercise is trying to keep the chin back and the pelvis tucked under. So try not to arch the back to get the band around. Likewise, try not to push the head forwards to try to get the band behind you. One more thing is to try not to raise the upper shoulders too much. So try to keep the shoulders down away from the ears and squeeze that spot in the middle back where you felt that T position working with the previous exercise. So you're squeezing between the mid-back. We're going to go 2 more of these. The shoulders should start to feel nice and warm by now, as well as all of your postural muscles, trying to keep the body up tall like this. So now that we've done the pass-through, we're going to move on to side bends. This will help to engage the thoracic spine, as well as stretching out the tight muscles along the sides. So again, start with your band, your towel, or your jumper, straight up ahead like this. Stand with the feet about hip width apart. Again, pelvis tucked under. And we're just going to be bending to the side as far as we can. So imagine taking that top hand and reaching over as far as you can to the wall beside you, and then tensing your abs to bring you back up to the top. If you feel any back pain with this one, just draw the belly button in and imagine tensing your abs on the way back up. What you should feel is a stretching down the side, and you should feel your abs engaging as you come back up to the top. So again, we're gonna do about 20 of these. So we've got about 8 more coming back up. Again, you're trying to do this pretty slowly, pausing at the bottom for a second, and then coming back up. And on each repetition, you should feel that side stretching out, and you're getting a little bit further down to the ground. And this is a really good exercise because it's gonna loosen up all of the muscles that normally make our shoulder function less. So they normally restrict the shoulder function. So we're coming across. We got 2 more here. 1 and 2. Okay, so we've warmed up the middle of the back. We've warmed up the rotators a little bit. We've also started to stretch out the thoracic spine in the side plane. Now we're going to stretch out the thoracic spine in a rotational plane. So this is oftentimes forgot about with the thoracic spine. As it rounds over into a hunch position, we lose the ability to rotate side to side. This exercise will help to promote that. So take the band up to about chest level, and you're just going to twist the upper body across to the side as far as you can, one way and then the other. So try to keep the hips and knees pointing forwards with this one, and we're just rotating through that upper body. Again, we're going for about 20 here, keeping it nice, slow and controlled, and starting to feel the stretch as you push around to the side. Also feeling the abdominals start to work to rotate you side to side. So one of the things that you can focus on here is drawing that shoulder back as you come around. So imagine you're trying to pull the elbow into something behind you as you rotate around. This is gonna help engage that mid-back. So you're squeezing around. We're gonna go for 5 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. The next part of the warm-up works most effectively if you have a band. Don't worry if you don't, it'll still work if you just perform the actions without one. If you have a band, feel free to pause the video to go and get it. This exercise is designed to warm up the external rotators of the shoulder, which are often implicated in rotator cuff strains. The most important thing here is to try to let the rotator cuffs work by allowing the shoulder to rest downwards and drawing the mid-back backwards. Start the exercise by grabbing one part of the band. It doesn't matter if you have a handle or not. Grab the other part of the band with the hand that you're not working, and place the hand in front of the shoulder that you're trying to work. So this hand comes across and reaches right in front of the shoulder that I'm trying to work. Then, keeping the elbow just in front of the body, try to pull the hand back and then rotate forward to where the forearm is parallel to the ground. So you're coming back, pushing forward to the parallel, pushing back, pushing forward to the parallel, and so on. Again, we're trying to keep the shoulder relaxed so that the shoulder doesn't come up by the ear like this, and you're keeping the elbow in one spot, just moving the hand. So again, we're gonna go for 8 reps here. 2 more, 1, 2, and we'll go for the other arm. So again, we're gonna place the hand that's holding the band in front of the opposite shoulder, and then we're gonna pull the handle back to where the hand is just above the elbow. Pulling back. This doesn't need to be a big movement, but it does need to be specific towards the rotator cuff. So you're trying to keep that upper trap relaxed, keep the shoulder away from the ear, and trying to draw the mid-back in as you pull the back of the hand upwards. So that's 8 on both sides. So we're gonna do that one more time on each side. The hand comes over, we're pulling back with the back of the hand. You should start to feel this in the shoulder. And again, try to keep that upper trap relaxed if you can. 2 more. Again, doesn't need to be a big movement. All we're doing is activating the rotator cuff so that it's not completely asleep when we start to do some of these bigger movements that the rotator cuff can tend to get overlooked with. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And again, if you don't have a band, you can just do this motion here with the shoulder, bringing the back of the hand up. So now that we've worked the external rotators, we're also going to work the internal rotators. So take the band and put it behind your back like this. And what you're gonna do is with one arm at a time, you're placing this elbow out, and you're going to hold the top of the band like so with the palm up. So then you're gonna push the palm down towards the ground. So go from palm facing forwards to palm facing the ground while you keep that elbow in a relatively stable position. The shoulder doesn't need to be in line with the body here. It can be a little bit forwards like this. And again, just as long as you're pushing the palm towards the ground while you keep that shoulder relaxed away from the ear, that's literally all we're looking for. Just to get that rotator cuff active so that we are using it in the times to come. So again, with this hand over here, we're gonna have the elbow here and we're just gonna push the palm down to the ground like that. So you don't really even need to move the band between arms. You're just pushing down, starting to warm up those internal rotators like the subscapularis, something that's often dysfunctional, especially if you never work it out independently. So we're gonna go for 2 more here, then we're gonna do 1 more set on each side. So again, we're here, palm pushes down towards the ground, the elbow stays in one position. Try to keep that shoulder relaxed away from the ear, chin back, standing up tall. Same thing on the other side, coming across, hand pushes down, elbow stays up, and you should start to feel this in the shoulder. This is just a warm-up, so it doesn't need to be a lot of resistance. It's just going through the motions. And again, even if you don't have a band, you can still do this motion here without a band and just focus on keeping the elbow in one position, starting to warm up that rotator. Now that we've warmed up the mid-back, the rotator cuff, and most of the parts of the spine, we're going to warm up some of the most important muscles of the shoulder girdle, the ones that push. There are a couple of muscles that help glue the shoulder blade into the body as we move the arm forwards, which is really important for functional tasks, as well as trying to strengthen the front half of the shoulder. You'll need a band for this exercise. Just pop it around the back like this, holding one end in each hand. You're going to try to keep the shoulder blade down as you push the arm across the body. So with a mostly open hand like this, we're going to push the band across, going for 8 reps. We got 5 more. So we're squeezing the arm across the body while keeping the shoulder blade down. As we bring the arm back, we're trying to squeeze the shoulder blade back. So we're actively bringing the shoulder blade down and back as we come back, and then pushing it across the body. We'll go 1 more here. Now over to the other side. So again, we're squeezing across the body rather than pushing the shoulder up and over, keeping the shoulder blade down, squeezing the elbow across the midline of the trunk. And as we bring the arm back, we're squeezing the shoulder blade back, squeezing back, pushing forward, squeezing back, pushing forward. This is teaching the shoulder how to push forwards using the bigger muscles of the shoulder girdle rather than using the front deltoid here. So we're gonna go for 8 more on each side. That's 8, 7, 6. Again, keep the chin back, head up, shoulder blade back. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Last set on this side, we're just warming these things up. Chin back, shoulder down, squeezing across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pulling the shoulder blade back. 6, 7, and 8. So now that we've warmed up the muscles of the mid-back and the rotator cuff and the serratus and chest, we're just going to do a couple of stretches to make sure that the shoulders are open and they're ready for what we're about to throw at them. So what you can do here is place the elbow up on the wall like so, take a step forward with both feet, put the inside foot across the outside foot, and then drop the body in towards the wall like so, and you should feel the chest starting to stretch here. So as the chest stretches, you can grab the ribs, pull down and across, take a couple of breaths through the belly. You should feel that chest stretching out. If you have any shoulder pain here, just drop that elbow down towards the shoulder and suck the shoulder blade back as you come down, like so. That should get rid of any shoulder pain. If it's still sore, then just don't worry about it, and we'll hit it with another exercise later on. So again, we're gonna try the other side. Elbow goes up slightly higher than the shoulder, stepping forward with both feet. Inside foot goes across, and drop the body in towards the wall, like so. You can grab the ribs with the opposite hand, pull down and across to feel a big stretch across the ribs. Breathe through the belly and hold for about 20 seconds, and then we're gonna come off. So that's going to stretch the chest. One more stretch is for the lats, these big muscles underneath the armpit. They can pull the shoulder blade down and affect the way that the shoulder moves when we're doing these exercises. So place a hand up on the wall like this, nice and tall. Stand really close to the wall, about a foot's width away. Inside hand goes across, inside foot goes across, and you're just gonna push like this, the shoulders away from the wall to feel a stretch down the sides. So you should feel the stretching in the lower back, the space in between your ribs and your hips. You might feel a little bit of stretching underneath the shoulder as well. Again, go ahead and breathe through the belly, and then switch to the other side. So these are just brief stretches, again, to make sure everything's got the full range of motion that it needs to function in our bigger exercises. So we're bringing the inside foot across, upper hand goes there, inside hand goes there, pushing across, like so. Feeling a stretch in that lower back, as well as under the arm. Okay, so we've stretched out the chest, we've stretched out the sides. One more thing that we're gonna do for our warm-up, and this is the last piece of the warm-up before we start to get into these heavier exercises, is an exercise that's gonna start to extend the upper back out of this rounded position, as well as challenge the muscles of the shoulder girdle and stretch out the sides. Is come into a push-up position and start to walk the hands towards the feet, pushing the hips straight up in the ceiling. This is similar to a downward dog position that we see in yoga. So you're gonna start to feel a stretch down the back of the legs and the feet. And what I want you to do is use the hands to push the chest towards the ankles. So we're gonna push the chest towards the ankles, and you can see that the upper back goes from this rounded position and it gets pushed into a straightened position. So we're pushing into a straightened position, back 10 times like this. So this should start to warm up the shoulders, and you'll start to feel the upper back stretch, as well as obviously the back of the legs. So after we've done 10 in this position, we're gonna start to add a little bit of a twist to it. So as we push back, we're gonna straighten the left leg and twist the hips towards the right. So we're twisting the hips towards the right, straightening the left leg, and you'll start to feel a little bit of a stretch across the lower back and under the arm. So we're pushing back and twisting at the same time. Push back and twist, push back and twist. So again, we're working the shoulders, but we're also starting to straighten the upper back and stretch out the lower back. So you can do 5 more straight, pushing straight back, extending the upper back. Then we're gonna shift and do 5 on each side. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now that we're all done with the warm-up, it's time to get into the heavier loaded exercises. This means you'll need a dumbbell, a shoulder bag, or some other form of weight that you can hold and pull into an exercise. The first exercise is designed to activate the parts of the mid-back that are commonly misused. These are the bits in between the shoulder blades. This exercise will also work the core. Grab the dumbbell and place your hand on a chair or bench, making sure that the hips and shoulders are square to the ground. So you don't want to be tilted like this. So grabbing the weight, supporting yourself with one hand, making sure everything is nice and square to the ground. The leg on the side with the weight is going to be placed back so that you have room for the arm to move back. Then you're going to draw the weight back and up like this by pulling the shoulder blade down and back across the body. So rather than just pulling up towards the body like this and raising the shoulder up towards the ear, we're going to keep the shoulder away from the ear and draw down and back like so. So we're going to go for 4 more reps here. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then we're going to swap sides. Same thing on the other side. We're going to go for 8 reps, facing on the chair, squeezing back and up with the shoulder blade, keeping everything nice and level to the ground. The back should be straight here rather than rounded like this. So nice straight back. Squeezing up for 5 more reps. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So we're going to go for 1 more set on each arm. Again, keeping the back nice and straight, shoulders and hips square to the ground. Squeezing back and up, keeping a nice soft grip on the weight so that we're using our back instead of our arm. Imagine pulling with the elbow, pulling down and back across the body so that the shoulder blade swings back. We're gonna go for 3, 2, and 1. Again, switching to the other side, making sure the core stays nice and tight to keep everything square to the ground. When the core doesn't work, the body will start to twist away from the ground. Squeezing up. 5 more here. 4, keep the chin down so you're looking straight at the ground. 2, and 1. Now that we've activated the back and core with the single arm row, it's time to activate the front of the body with a pressing motion. This will work the core, shoulder girdle, upper back, and neck. Start in a press up position, either on the knees or on the feet, with the hands directly underneath the shoulders, the shoulder blades pulled back, and the weight on the toes. Squeeze the shoulder blades down and back into a push-up, go all the way to the ground. Make sure to pull the shoulder blades down and back, and then tighten the abs, push up out of the push-up position, and then raise an arm, hold for 3 seconds, 2 and 1, then swap arms. Down into the push-up, pushing up, one arm comes up, 3, 2, and 1. We're gonna repeat 5 times. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. If you're doing these with the knees on the ground, try to make sure that there's a straight line between the knees, hips, and shoulders as you lower down, making sure that the shoulders are squeezed away from the ears, driving up. 1, 2, 3. Squeezing down, pushing up. 1, 2, 3. Again, most important things here, keeping the shoulders away from the ears, making sure the back doesn't arch as we push up, so you're keeping the core engaged. This is gonna work the core and the middle back. We're gonna do one more set of these before we move on to the next exercise. Take a little breath. Place a knee pad down if you need one. Hands go underneath the shoulders, starting in that push-up position, coming down, squeezing the shoulder blades back, driving up, arm goes up, 1, 2, 3, coming down, coming up, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Try to keep the body level when you raise that hand. 1, 2, 3. 1 more. 1, 2, 3. The next exercise in the sequence is going to work all aspects of shoulder stability. This exercise is going to work the shoulder in an overhead lifting position, and posture is also going to be really important here. We're going to work the obliques a little bit as well. So take a weight or any kind of resistance. Again, if you have a shoulder bag or a book, doesn't really matter what it is. Place the weight about chin level like this. Make sure the elbow is directly underneath the wrist. The elbow can be forward about 30 degrees in front of the body like this. Make sure you're standing nice and up tall with the chin back, the pelvis tucked under, and then press the weight straight up above the head like this. Slowly lower down and repeat. So we're coming down to about chin level. We're keeping the chin back. We're trying not to lean back as we push the weight, standing nice and tall. And we're going for about 8 reps here, always keeping that elbow directly underneath the wrist. Coming up, and you go 2 more here. 1 and 2. Swapping arms. So again, starting about chin level, wrist underneath the elbow underneath the wrist, shoulder about 30 degrees forwards, chin back, pelvis tucked under, driving up over the head, slowly coming down and repeating. We got 4 more here. You should try to keep the abs tensed so your body doesn't lean over to the side as you're pushing up, so you'll start to feel this working in the abs. We're gonna go 2 more. One more, and down. So we're going straight back over to the other arm, coming up about chin level, elbow underneath the wrist, driving straight up above like this, while we keep those abs tight, chin back, and especially the pelvis tucked under, with the knees slightly bent and the glutes squeezed. We're gonna go 2 more here. 1 and 2. Last one, popping over to the other arm, coming up, elbow underneath the wrist, drive straight up over the ceiling, over the head towards the ceiling. Keeping the pelvis tucked under, head back. We got 4 more here. 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. So your shoulders, back, and chest should be pretty thoroughly worked by now after the warm-up and the weighted exercises. That will really set the foundation for good function in the upper back, the spine, and the shoulders. One thing that we haven't addressed directly yet is elbows and hands. So a lot of times pain in the elbows will be contributed to by dysfunction of the shoulder, but there's also muscles around the elbow and the arm that can contribute to it as well. So the next 2 exercises are going to focus on improving the strength and mobility around the elbow and forearm. So include these if you have elbow pain or if you want to try to prevent issues with the elbow going forwards. So the first exercise, the weight will be facing towards us. So our palms facing towards us and our hands by our side, bringing the shoulder blade back, and then curl the weight up to the shoulder while you twist the palm towards you. So you're gonna slowly lower the weight down, palm facing away, curl the palm towards you, shoulder blade back. Coming down and up. Again, we're gonna go for 8 reps here, trying to keep the chin back, the pelvis tucked under, everything nice and in line while we control that weight. 2 more reps here. 1 and 2. Swapping arms, shoulder blades back, palms facing behind, squeeze up. 1, 2. Trying to really rotate the pinky around to where it almost touches the shoulder, so you're squeezing the palm towards you as much as you can. That's going to activate the bicep and the muscles that turn the forearm, which help to protect the elbow. So we got 2 more reps here, keeping everything nice and tall, squeezed back. That's it, 1 more. And again, we're straight back over to the other arm, palm facing behind, squeezing the weight up towards the shoulder. Again, this exercise can work with a band or some lighter weight. You don't need a big heavy dumbbell. You can just use a water bottle or a milk carton, but try to do a weight that you struggle to do 8 reps with. Keeping that shoulder blade back and controlled. 2 more reps here. 1 and 2. Last 8 reps on this left arm, palm facing back, squeezing up, rotating down, keeping the shoulder in one spot. You should be feeling this in the arm by now. If you're not, you probably need a heavier weight. So we're gonna go 3 more reps here. 3, 2, and 1. So that'll work the forearm and the bicep. The next exercise is to work the forearm and the tricep. The last exercise in the sequence is going to be working for the tricep and the back of the arm. This can help with a lot of elbow issues as well as shoulder stability issues. So grab a light weight here, it doesn't need to be heavy at all. And if you have any doubts about your ability to hold onto the weight, practice without a weight first, because this has the potential for dropping the weight down onto your head. So make sure that you practice without weight first if you have any doubts. Try to keep the arm straight up like this with the elbow pointing ahead, and then lower the weight down next to the head with the elbow pointing upwards, and then drive the back of the hand up towards the wall above you. Nice and slow on the way down, pushing the back of the hand up as you go up. So you'll find that the elbow wants to sort of creep forwards like this. Try to have it pointing straight up in the ceiling with the back of the hand facing up. You'll start to feel this in the back of the arm and the back of the forearm. Try to keep the palm facing the ground the whole time. rather than twisting over. So we're gonna go one more rep here. Same thing on the other side. So you should aim to get between 6 and 10 reps on this, depending on what sort of weight you're using. Slowly lower down, that elbow points straight up. You can see I'm using this hand here to make sure that this elbow doesn't end up pointing downwards. So it's not assisting in any way, it's just giving me a reminder, letting me know when that elbow starts to drop down. Coming down nice and slow, raising the back of the hand straight up, like this. And slowly coming down. I'm just gonna do one more rep here. And then swap back to the other side. So again, we're gonna go 8 reps here. Coming straight up and down, keeping the back of the hand nice and level. Try to keep the shoulder down away from the ear. Keep it nice and stable as you go through. Let's go one more. And again, if that weight gets slippery or you feel like you're not able to control it, just drop the weight and use just the weight of the hand. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Awesome. So that's the upper body workout all done. So I know that was a lot of warm up, getting the shoulders warmed up, getting the mid back straight, starting to load up the body with some heavier exercises, and then finishing off with some specific exercises for the arms, which shouldn't be neglected, especially for those of you with elbow and arm pain. So make sure to follow up this exercise program with a few stretches for the chest, the upper back, and the lower back. All of those can be found online at phyxphysio.co.nz or on the Phyx mobile app for iOS. Happy fixing!